you guys know Canon, the camera company? Do you know what it is? You were smiling, or no?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, you do? All right, so this is one of my favorite episodes. He's vice president, or senior vice president at Canon. So when his call loaded, this guy was amazing, right? So he had this slicked back hair, and he had this thick accent, and he was calling in from Manhattan, and he reminded me of like a mob boss, right? He even had these big rings on his hand. And so we started, yeah, it was pretty cool. So we started talking about how he got his start as an individual contributor and how he moved up through the ranks. And the question really here was like, how did you go from bottom, right, early on in your career, all the way up to running a division of a very large known company? And he shared with me this concept that he has, this simple habit that he does continuously over and over. And he's always asking himself, what can I do to become more valuable, right? And then he takes that information. So there's a couple parts to it. The first part is he goes to a stakeholder and he actually asks, what can I do to become more valuable? That's one. We all kind of know that. Everyone's heard that before. Step two, he actually creates a plan to implement it, right? What steps do I need to take to actually achieve this? And then he goes about that. And then step three is the part that is the most interesting because it's the part that I see people fail on the most. And that's, he actually creates this narrative back about the progress or the journey while achieving that objective, right? Because if you go to your leader and you find out that maybe it's working on your communication, I'm gonna pick on you for a second. Okay. All right, so it's like, leader says working on communication, that's what they want you to work on. You say, great, right? And you go back and you start taking communication classes and you hide away for a year from this individual and improve, taking classes, workshops, books, working with your team, do all this stuff, and you never communicate back. Then there's no narrative, there's no story in that individual's head that you actually took this input and are achieving it. And we do this so much because a lot of us we all start in our careers as individual contributors. We want to go away and do the good work. But this story is actually incredibly important because it's the difference between that individual seeing you make this progress and being able to give you opportunity at their level, because they're going to recommend you and give you opportunity if they see you making progress and actually moving forward. Because that gives you confidence. Think about it. How many of you lead a team right now? Okay, great. The people who are constantly improving that you have the most confidence in are the people you are going to selfishly recommend for future advancement, right? You have talented people and you've worked with them, ones that can't communicate how useful they are, they can't communicate many things, and then you have the ones who absolutely can. And you have more confidence and certainty in these individuals that are communicating their value. So this is, as an engineer myself, I like this because it's a formula. It's literally the way you can go from being a janitor at a company to being the CEO, continuously asking the person above you how you can become more valuable, obtaining that, whether it's in your 9 to 5 or outside of work. Becoming great doesn't stop at 5, right? So a lot of these people are improving outside of work and improving themselves. And then being able to communicate those improvements back. It's very important.